Yo guys, how are you lot all doing? Actually, guys, I got a new feature. Hold on, let me just show you. Let me just show you in a minute. Boom! What are you man telling me? How's everybody doing? We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, guys. That's very important because that's where a lot of the gaming stuff's going to happen. Actually, I don't need this other banner that says off the cameras on the side. What am I doing? Ignore me, guys. See, it's I'm getting into this kind of stuff. So let me just. Oops, we still want to keep that one. Where is the other one? Ah, mate, we are having a meh. How are you lot doing anyway? Let me know whilst I get this one sorted out. I want to get rid of my name one. How the flip do I get rid of my name one? Um, Example banner. It's gotta be somewhere, man. This is annoying. Hide current ticket. Nah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do them things. Yo, how are you not doing anyway? It's Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker. Listen, this is gonna bug me if I don't get this stuff sorted out. This is gonna bug me. I just want to get rid of that name on the at the bottom. Mate, hold on. Nah, can't find it. Can't find it. I cannot seem to see it. Let me know, guys. If you guys could figure that one out, yo, we might give a Christmas present as well. You might. Now, listen, I don't want to promise anything I cannot live up to. Alright, boom. F it, yeah. We're just gonna roll through. F it, yeah. Boom. This is your Joseph Parker versus Dereck Chisora. Joseph Parker? Yeah. I was about to say Joseph Chisora, man. Joseph Parker versus Dereck Chisora preview, okay? Look. Big fight. Big fight. Let's talk about actually where do we begin? Look, with Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker happening this weekend on the Zone. I think it's on the Zone. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a last chance saloon for Dereck. Is it? Let me know. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But first and foremost, first thing I want to talk about is the antics. Okay, yeah, this kind of stuff. Do I agree with it? Probably not. But this is Dereck Chisora, and with Dereck Chisora, he just does what the hell Dereck Chisora wants to do. I'm going to miss characters like him in boxing as a whole, but overall, I think he's been a real asset to boxing because he's brought the lifeline, he's brought the attention, he's brought a whole load of other stuff to the sport of boxing. So I have to give him his props, and the props are due. With regards to Joseph Parker, on the other hand, and how I see this fight going, Joseph Parker actually has a lot of things to potentially lose. Okay, Joseph Parker, he wants to get back into a position where he's fighting for a world title. Okay. Now, I know it's going to be quite tough for somebody like Chisora to fight for another world title, but for Joseph Parker, yo, he's gonna need to win this fight as a whole. Now coming into the fight and how I see this fight going based on the first fight, because there was a lot to unpick. I watched the first fight again. There was a lot to unpick. Okay, during the first fight, to my understanding, and I watched it again, and let me know if you guys disagree. Let me know if you guys have alternative opinions. But big up Adari Pennant. I would like to see Joseph Parker versus Frank Sanchez. That is a great point. That is a great point. And we'll touch upon that. I'm going to touch upon that straight after. When I talk about the first fight, I'll come back to that comment because that's a great comment. But rounds So early parts of the first fight, Chisora came out the gate, knocked him down in the first round. First actually 10 seconds to be fair. Knocked him down and then decided like he was going to go hell for leather for the remaining of the round. And what you found was Joseph Parker was adjusting too slow to the intensity and ferociousness of Dereck Chisora. See, I don't think he was mentally ready for what was about to happen in that ring against that man because Chisora is a guy you can't, how do I say it? You could be all mentally prepared, but when you get into that ring, Dereck Chisora will stick it on you, apply as much pressure to you, and your head's just gonna be frazzled. You'll be like, wow, I can't handle this bit of a mess. So that's what happened within the first, I would say, 3 rounds of the first fight, rounds 4 to 6. However, you see the tides turning a bit. You see Joseph Parker really adjusting to the range, and that's key. He adjusted to the range of Chisora. Once he locked in to that part where he was having his problems in the early parts of the fight, he managed to sort of dominate afterwards and take control because he understood the distance. See, Chisora was going orthodox, he was going southpaw. He was hitting to the body, he was hitting to the head. He was all over the place. But Joseph Parker, on the other hand, was just trying to read him and then pick him off as he goes along. But with a man like Chisora, you just have to just have a game plan and stick to the game plan. You can't just sort of figure it out when you get in there. It's one of those scenarios where you just have to just have a game plan from minute one, not a game plan from round 3. And use round 1 to 2 to kind of work it out. Well, that Parker did well going on from round 6, round 7. It actually could have knocked him down in round 7, but sort of was a little bit more tentative. Round 8, 9, 10, I think Joseph Parker, once he's established the dishes and understood what he was going to do, it was easier for him. He just used his footwork, used his movement, jab, 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 and just literally, I wouldn't say run away, but he was a little bit less open to be in close combat with Chisora as he was doing the early part of the fight. And having watched that fight back again, I can see how Joseph Parker won, because I would say Joseph Parker won most of the rounds after 6 and maybe one earlier round. And Chisora won all of the early ones but got knocked down. So I think Joseph Parker just slightly edged it, but overall, I'll be comfortable with a draw. Now, based on the first fight, what does that mean for the second fight? Okay, or what are the stakes for both fighters? Now, with Dereck Chisora, he can fight any Tom, Dick, and Harry afterwards, and everybody will still be tuned in to watch that man because he brings excitement, he brings ambiguity in some of the antics he does. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys don't know, yeah, he brings also aggression, ferociousness, okay, and excitement that isn't reciprocated throughout the whole heavyweight division. Now, what if he, so basically if he ends up losing this fight, he could go in with Deontay Wilder. I would love to watch that fight between him and Deontay Wilder. I think he would stand a good chance because how Fury beat Deontay, I think Chisora could do a very similar thing to Deontay Wilder. And I don't think that Deontay Wilder can hack Chisora going orthodox, southpaw, body, head, and just all of those dark arts on top of that. I'm not sure whether he can fully hack it, but that's a different story for a different day. Joseph Parker, on the other hand, now this gets interesting. Oh, anyway, let's go back to the Chisora. If Chisora ends up winning, where does that move him? That puts him. I doubt he'll get a world title shot, So it doesn't really make a difference whether he wins or whether he loses, because I don't think he's going to get world title shot unless Fury beats everybody and just openly gives it to Chisora, which is on the cards. He said that. He said a lot of things, but that is something that is being discussed openly. But if Parker loses, boy oh boy, losing to Dereck Chisora, a man who's lost how many times? 11, 10? Yeah, I don't think there's a lot. He's not going to fight for world title in the next 5 to 10 years if he loses to Dereck Chisora. And that's how deep it gets. Because the way the scene is, the way everything is given up towards, next year we're fully booked, pretty much. The year after we're fully booked. The year after that we're fully booked. And by that stage, Joseph Parker would have to do a whole lot of working outside and fighting all of the guys around the world title shot in order for him to be in the conversation. And that's assuming that he wins. There's I think what's my man? Adari Pennant would say I would like to see Joseph Parker versus Frank Sanchez. See, if Joseph Parker loses, he's not. I don't think Frank Sanchez's team with Canelo Alvarez will put him in there with Joseph Parker if Joseph Parker wins. If he loses, Canelo's team will be up for it. But would Joe and his team be up for it? I think they probably, to be fair, they probably would, because they came off AJ, went to Dillian. They came off Dillian, went to Chisora. So yeah, I think they probably would, to be fair. Come to think about it, they probably would. Well, big up Adari Pennant, and big up Bruce Kai as well, the accountant. See, he asked, if Dereck can maintain that pressure, he wins. If Dereck can maintain that pressure, he wins. I wouldn't say that's a foregone conclusion. But he said if Parker hasn't adapted or stayed the same on the first side, which I highly doubt. If Parker hasn't adapted or stayed, okay, so if Dereck can maintain that pressure, he wins, provided that Parker hasn't adapted or stayed the same as the first fight, which I highly doubt. I think Parker could. The thing is, I think a lot of people are underestimating the value of adjusting to one's distance and adjusting to one's style of boxing. See, if it takes you 2-3 rounds to, or let's just say, with another example, Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Lomachenko took 6 rounds to download that information, and then afterwards, once he realized what he was doing, or realized that he was down on the scorecards, he won every round afterwards. But at that stage, he was gone. He won't need all that information to download it again, because it's already saved on the hard drive, and that's what's going to happen with Parker. Parker already established the range in the first fight, so I cannot guarantee that. Well, unless he had a Men in Black situation where someone zapped all the memory out of him, he may just, to be fair, just need one round to just remind himself of how far Dereck Chisora could be around him, and that's it. With this guy saying Parker could, yeah, he said, well, hold on, let me just go back up again. Exactly. I think Parker's going to come forward and throw more. That is how I see the fight go. And I'm going to touch upon that in a bit, but that's exactly how I see that fight happening from minute one. And he needs to do it, because this is where he had the problem in the first fight. In the first fight, minute one, first, even to pick, going into that ring, he went in with sort of the mindset of, I'm just going to fill you out, see how it goes, analyze what kind of game plan you're on. And Dereck Chisora came in to lick off his head. Those two are not, you can't live on the same block in terms of mindset. So when it comes to Dereck Chisora, and Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker has to be fully alert from the minute one because he got knocked down in the first 10 seconds. And this is where it becomes a lethal fight for him if he switches off. Um, but I do agree. I doubt Parker is going to fight as a negative this time as he did the first time. I think he, I think he will. I think he's going to. Okay, let me go on to how I think the fight's going to go. Okay, because I think it will make a lot more sense. Parker, in terms of just what I'm hearing, Parker has come in a little bit more built than he actually has than his last fight. Okay, working with Andy Lee for another 6 months, and Andy Lee's coming from the school of thought of Kronk. Yeah, I just think that he's going to start off a little bit more alert, a little bit more quicker. I don't think he's going to be jabbing, moving, running around the ring. He's going to start off, assert his dominance, really try to put a dent in Chisora from round 1 and round 2. He's going to try to put a dent in Chisora. I think he's going to have a switch up in gameplay for round 3. That's what I strongly believe. I think he's going to switch it up round 3. And this is what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to take his foot off the gas, jab, and move between round 3 to about round 5 to round 6. Joseph Parker is going to take his. I think he's going to take his gas or his hand off the gas. Okay, he's going to let Chisora go in. Chisora's going to be a little bit more hurt from round 1 because for some weird reason, if you hurt Chisora in minute 1, it's going to take him off for. It's more beneficial that way than it is later on because by that stage he's already turned to some super monster. I don't know what they give him during the the in between rounds, but it seems as though he's just unlocking new levels every single round. So Parker's going to hurt him earlier on round 1 and 2, round 3 to around round 6. Parker is going to take his foot off the gas. Chisora is going to start swinging, do whatever he can. Parker is going to find little pockets, counter punch him. Very simple 1-2s, 1-2 hooks, clinches, etc. Like the first fight. He's going to do that kind of malarkey. Once he does that, I think between round 7 to about round 8, he's going to put on the pressure a little bit more. And I think between round 9 and round 10, I think he's going to try to take off his head and get the stoppage. That's exactly how I think it's going to happen. I can't see Chisora winning this one. And the reason why I say can't see Chisora winning this one is because I think the last fight we saw Chisora close to how his best is given his age, etc. I think that is where you're not going to get a better Chisora than the one beforehand. And if you do, it's not going to be that much of a difference. But Joseph Parker had a lot of stuff to work on. He was just whack that day. He was slow, he was sluggish, he was flat-footed, he was all over the place. He started really, really tentative, slow. Like he looked like he was sleeping from round 1. And I think after 10 rounds, I think Joseph Parker, because he could have got the stoppage around 7 last time. And prior to that, Chisora could have got stopped by Usyk in round 7, round 6 or round 7, exact same round he could have got stopped. I just don't think Joseph Parker has the power to knock him out in round 7. But I think if Joseph Parker goes for it around 10 or 9, I think he could knock him out. So round 9 and 10, KO by Joseph Parker. Okay. But back to Bruce Kai. I doubt Joseph Parker is going to fight as negative as he did the first time. Not as negative. The thing is that this is my stance. Defensive isn't always negative. Defensive boxing isn't always negative. Okay? Now, I wouldn't call Floyd and his defensive style of boxing as a method as, okay, yeah, that's just negative, it's pessimistic. A bit like even football. A team that just has 2 backs and 4 sitting back defending a 1-0 lead. I wouldn't say that's I wouldn't say that's negative. It's not glamorous, but I wouldn't say it's negative because it's not counterproductive to that to achieving your overall goal of winning. It's sort of like caution first. Okay. Now, um, based on that, do I think he's going to just jab move, jab move, jab move? A couple of moments. He's not going to just go gung ho and go slugfest from round 1 to round 10. Ain't happening. No chance. He's got to have a strategic plan. From that's how I can see it happen. And you know what? The same similar thing happened with Fury against Wilder. Started off like a house on fire, especially was it the second fight? Started off like a house on fire. Round, I would say 3 and 4. There was a round in between. Um, Before he knocked him out, he just took his foot off the gas, recouped the energy, and then just went for it afterwards and got him out, got him the hell out of it. So I think Joseph Parker, if Joseph Parker doesn't knock out Chisora or wins this fight, I'm sorry, but I don't want to see this guy fight ever again on pay-per-view, on anything, man. Like I would rather see Chisora, who's lost 12 times at that stage or 11, than the Joseph Parker who's only just lost twice. That's in my opinion. Because that's not good enough. His big, what is he, 27? Yo, that 2 time ain't happening, man. Unless he wins a vacant title somehow, which is that possible? Doubt it. Given the young blood coming through like your Hergovich and your that's that American guy that just like a pimp. Oh, bro, what's his name? You guys know what I'm talking about. Jared Anderson. Yeah, doubt he's going to do it. Parker could show Dereck something new, although Dereck ain't bringing anything else to the table. That's exactly true. The Dereck that fought Dillian the second time is the same Dereck that fought Takam to an extent, although Takam is, yeah, Takam to an extent, and it was pretty much the same guy who fought Usyk, the same guy who fought Price, the same guy who fought Parker the first time. So you're not in his last sort of couple of fights, he's been in pretty much exactly the same. Okay, spoke up, pretty all of it, body shots, body heavy, head top every now and then, but mainly body shots focused. Yeah, brawler and try to just cause you maximum carnage, and I believe that is the case. That's going to happen in this fight. Oh crap. This is a great question. This one, hold on. Yeah, this one is a it's a great question. What about Gerald Miller versus Derek Chisora or Carlos Takam in this comeback fight 2022? Gerald Miller, bro, what's going on? I just clocked the overlay, it's gone missing. That is mad, bro. The overlay's gone. Hey yo, what's going on? Ah, we're back, guys. We're back. I was thinking, what the flip is happening here? Ah, because I clicked on something else. Anyway, Gerald Miller, pharmaceutical guy. Gerald Miller. Yeah. I don't like bringing energy to my man because there's people who deserve it more, like a Hergovich and bad bitches and other people who are on the undercard. But would I want to see that fight? Not against Chisora. Because I think he could beat Chisora. Chisora will be like at that stage in 2022. I'm not sure what this fight would do to Dereck. So I would prefer not to see that fight, but I really do hope Dereck puts a dent in him at least and let the next person afterwards clean up after the mess. That's in my opinion. Sadly, I agree. Yeah, Dereck is much bigger draw and more exciting. Parker could put Parker could put a glass eye to sleep. That is so true. That is, yo, I couldn't agree more. Do you know what? There's certain people that where everybody appears or says that they are boring or we don't like to hear from them or they're just dry. Like I'll give you a prime example, right? Some I think I heard the other day someone saying like an Anthony Yard is boring. I was thinking, nah. I know certain people like AJ and Yard or people like that. They don't in press conferences. They don't like outwardly cuss. The guy across the table to them, unless the guy across the table to them is just being mad. But for the most part, they're pretty respectful. They're pretty calm. They speak very positively in general. That's what I find with these individuals, and they are a bit more like a motivational. If that makes sense, they try to be a role model to the youth. Okay, Joseph Parker, on the other hand, he's not saying anything moving. He's not saying anything uplifting. He's not saying anything cruddy. He's just literally saying, "Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna bring my A game. Yeah, man. Like, I hope the fans are gonna enjoy. And yeah, you guys are gonna expect a good fight. I'm gonna look to try knock him out. Yeah. Do you know what? It's not even what he says. I don't. I just clock. It's not actually what he says. It's the way he says it. It just sounds like, bruv. Like, come on, man. Parker could put a glass eye to sleep, so I'd like him to lose, but I agree with you. Yeah, bruv, the guys. And do you know what it is? Not every person is like great at speaking. Far from it, man. Check out the earliest videos on the channel. I was whacking, man. It's probably still not great, but I was so like an orator, like a guy who could just everything is roll off the tongue and just sound amazing. Okay. The problem is, right? Parker's not actually like a stutterer. He's not doing. He's saying everything clearly. He's just not saying it right with any conviction, any belief that I can say, yo, Joseph Parker. And I'm not hearing this like a New Zealand thing um or that part of the world because George Kambosos. When I hear George Kambosos, I'm like, raw. Yeah, this guy, I like that. That's what you call self belief. It just doesn't sound like he believes in himself. Maybe it was two losses, but I think his timid approach, believe it or not, it actually reciprocated within his fighting style. And that's what I noticed. The way he speaks is the way he fights. So yeah, on that, yeah, he needs some help with that. I personally, I just think that he needs a direction. What are you? Are you going to speak religiously? Okay, like a guy, I don't know, like a, I was gonna say, yeah, just cut him out of it. But Joshua Buatsi, yeah, I was about to say John Tivada, but John Tivada, he says, yeah, like he'll read a Bible verse, and at the end of it, he says, yeah, I want blood, I want to kill, I want a body in my record. So, like, that's some sort of like Al Qaeda type talk, bruv. Yeah, that's all that kind of level, yeah. But we're talking like like a Buatsi, an individual who just tries to be positive, humble, try to be religious. Cool. You could try that. You could try that angle. You could try to be, you know, the jokey person, like a Adrian Broner. You can be try to be the laughter of jokes. You can be the nice guy, like Andy Ruiz. I wouldn't say Andy Ruiz is for like fully boring. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, like he's putting me to sleep. I don't think that. He tries to. You can be the AJ. He tries to be a bit more uplifting, motivational, like a Yard or AJ, etc. You can be like, bruv, you just got to pick your lane, brother. Walk through that lane. All of this, yeah, man. Like, bruv, come on, man. Can you imagine a fight between Daniel Dubois versus Jared Anderson? Bro. I do. But you know what? I think Dubois could beat him, you know. I haven't looked at Jared Anderson. He's very good. But I also think that Du- Dubois is quality, but has no belief in himself. Like the way I watch him in the ring and outside the ring, you would have thought that this guy had like 53 losses on his record. Yeah. If Dubois had extreme confidence, I would just risk taking to another level and had the right technical coaching, I think he would go far. In my opinion, I think that he would go extremely far. Because if I had to put all of them and line them up in a row, heavyweights, yeah, even Joe Joyce, and I say we're just doing certain drills. 1, 2, this drill, like certain drills, and I had to mark every single person out of 10. I was walking around with a clipboard. So, raw, all right, my man, 5 out of 10. Raw, like Deontay Wilder can't move his feet. Can't move, Ralph, 3 out of 10. Yeah, if I had to do that, yeah, Daniel Dubois, in my opinion, will be like top of the list. Like not even top, but close. I would say top 3. Or just like literally just basic power, skill, etc. Okay. If I had to do a mindset training on all of them and just see who's up there, bro, he'll be bottom 2, bro. He will be bottom 2 because he doesn't have belief in himself. And that is very key when you go into the ring. If you don't have belief in yourself, you're not going to win. Jared Anderson isn't as technically good as Dubois, but the confidence may mean that he may win on the night. But Daniel Dubois is probably a better boxer, a better fighter than Jared Anderson, in my opinion. Okay? So overall, this should be a good fight. I'm going to touch. Actually, you know what? Let's just touch upon the undercard. Okay? Bruh, I was about, bruv, I'm just seeing Archbishop of Canterbury disappointed by Tory HQ party. Bruv, we're not on this thing, bruv. Yeah, allow it. Yo, well, big up to you guys, yeah? Like the video on the way in, guys. Like the video. It helps out a hell of a lot. I think I've got the undercard here. Hold on, let me just check my pictures. Should have it all here. Alright. Big go. Okay. Do you know what? It's probably easier if I get the matchroom thing. Hold on. I get a matchroom one. Hold on. Matchroom boxing. Boom. Let me share my screen. So there's a couple of people on the undercard. Yo, like I want to give them some spotlight as well, man. These guys will be throwing it down, man. Whilst I wait for the big event, these will be throwing it down, man. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. Hold on, give me a minute, guys. Here it is. Manchester Arena as well. Big up Manchester as well. Got a couple of Mancunians on the undercard. Or just one, actually, I think. Should be all good. Hold on, let me just share my screen. Share screen. Like, this is sick, bruv. Yo, hopefully, let me just zoom in a hell of a lot, man. Bruv, let me just zoom back out. All right, boom. Undercard. Got a couple of people. Rian Dixon, managed by Dave Allen. Do you know, I saw them having a little, playground fighting. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you lot feel about that? Let me know. Bruce Kai said Jared Anderson will demolish Dubois. Do you know what? I don't think so. Do you know, on the night, potentially, I won't rule it out, but I would say Jared Anderson's a better boxer than Dubois. I think Dubois is actually a better boxer, but I think Jared Anderson may just, Dubois might just be caught under the headlights and he'll just get slumped. And it's a sad reality, but it's what it is. Apart from his boxing skill, LeRoy Richards is the deadest personality in boxing. No. Listen, This guy, yo, this guy, I actually, do you know what? I actually like him, man. He's just a weird, he's a weird one, but I like him. I like it. He doesn't say a lot, but he can sing. He can sing hot cross buns to the best. Yo, nah, I'm not gonna do it because copyright it might just lock me off it. Even though he's singing, but I've already got a copyright claim for the Chisora music. Hot cross buns. Trust me. Listen, he can sing. If you could, bro, you can pull it out the bag. If you could pull it, if you could sing, you can pull it out the bag. You can pull it out the bag. Yeah, you just need to sing hot cross buns, and that's it, bro. Everyone's gonna be laughing. It's all gonna be happy, and that's it, man. He could, bro. He could make. The thing is, he can make a tune. He could literally. He could fight for a world title. What weight is he at? I just clocked. What the hell? Where is he at? Super middleweight. Calm. When Canelo vacates, he may be able to fight 2 or 3 times, then fight for a world title because Canelo's going to 175 afterwards. Okay, very key as well. The guys at 175. At first, I was thinking, why are these lot? Why are you not fighting each other? Why are you just like why are you fight each other and then fight for a world title? It's because the big Canelo guy is gonna look to clean up that division. If you don't have a world title, you ain't fighting. He's fighting Makabu, maybe another fight at cruiserweight, but Makabu, and then he's fighting 4 light heavyweights or Chucky Benavides as well. He's fighting those individuals. Okay, so if you don't have a belt in the next sort of year, you ain't fighting Canelo. Is what it is, yeah. So all this British dust up could wait for a hot minute. But anyway, Rhiannon Dixon, you know, could love to see her on the card. Cyrus Patterson versus Evgeny Rizzi. Never heard of these people. No wonder. 2 wins, 1K, bruv. Allow it, man. Like I'll watch and I'll keep my eye out for them. But at the same time, yeah, I'm like these men had like 2 fights, so is what it is. Jordan Thompson, I'm hearing good things about Jordan Thompson, but I'll reserve judgment until I see him because apparently this kid is really good. But I'll reserve judgment until I see him. Sandy Ryan, another person I'm hearing good things about. Very good actually, very good. But I she's only had 2 fights, so I need to see more of her. What she was doing in her 2 fights was sort of very similar to what Shannon Courtney was doing in her first 2 fights, and people don't see her or think she's any good at nowadays. So I need to see more of Sandy Ryan to get a full judge. But the first 2 fights, when I saw her, she was very good. She was very good. I was impressed. Versus bruv, we're not even going to talk about this lady. I saw the losing record: 13 losses, 7 wins. Yes, it's peak still. These man, never heard of them. Again, never heard of these Johns. And this is where the live contest starts. Yeah, we're going to keep moving. All right, boom. This is where the fun begins. Okay. Do you think they should get rid of cruiserweight division of boxing? Do I think they should get rid of cruiserweight? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do. I do. I think they should get. If there's any weight class to get rid of, I'll probably be cruiserweight. That's 190. Drop cruiserweight from 190 to about 182. 182. You can still call that cruiserweight, but drop the cruiserweight to 182, and then bridge your weight could be that kind of stopgap between cruiserweight and heavyweight, if that makes sense, to make it a bit more fairer. But I wouldn't get rid of it. I would drop it because the larger lightweights, when they go to cruiserweight, it's a big jump. It's way too big of a jump, and I think they should just drop the weight class, in my opinion. And that's in my opinion. And that will mean that the heavier guys will be more eligible for pound stardom, as opposed to just being the smaller guys. Because the smaller guys could benefit from dropping weight class to weight class to weight class and be unified champion in each weight class, and then they're already on the pound for pound list. Whereas the guys that are heavyweight, they can't do that. Usyk could have been bridgerweight undisputed, cruiserweight undisputed, heavyweight undisputed. He would have been pound for pound number one for me. Because of that, because of the big gap between the weight classes, he couldn't drop down to 175. That's too low. So I think it would have benefited everybody, in my opinion. But that's not the. I would change that in boxing. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is drug cheats. Drug cheats, governing bodies, those sort of dons. Anyway, Alan the Savage Babbage. Last addition to the card, or late addition to the card, shall we say? Versus David Spillman. Yeah, David Spillman is better than Eric. Well, to be fair, Eric Molina didn't come to fight, so at least this guy's got. Hopefully, this guy does better than Eric Molina. Eric Molina did it. He could be asked half the time. He really couldn't be asked half the time. Alan Babbage, where do I see him in the heavyweight division or Bridgerweight? They're talking about him potentially at Rivas. I think Rivas will be a tough ask for Babbage. The reason why I say Rivas will be tough ask because Rivas is conditioned so well that I think he would take Babbage's punches. He's that type of guy who would take his punches. I think Babbage could beat a guy like an Otto Wallin, who's kind of regarded as the same level, but I think he could stylistically beat him over than a Rivas. A Rivas is too conditioned. So when Babbage throws punches, he's just going to be like, oh, yeah, it's going to be moved like titanium. So Babbage should win, and I'm expecting a KO because the guy who's facing lost 7 times in hand, lost by KO 7 times as well. Who did he face in his career? That is a great question. David Spillman, because Chisora lost. Oops. David Spillman. Never heard of this brother. Never ever heard of this brother. But I do hope that this guy's a good guy, man, because otherwise I would just gonna be pissed. You're thinking raw, like, all right, David Spielberg. This is the guy. That's wrong. Hold on. The matchroom side is wrong. 7 times he gets 7 KOs. He lost 7 times, but had out of the 7 losses he had, 2 of them were knockouts. Oh no, sorry, 11 wins and 7 by KO. Okay, that makes sense. So what a flip. Who did he lose to? Bruv. Nah, come on, man. Nah, come on, bruv. Babbage wiped the floor with this Don. Who is this Don for? Anyway, Carlos Cogora versus Leroy Richards, the singer. Pick up Leroy Richards. Should win. Should win. Carlos Cogora is very much an unknown quantity. Okay. Carlos Cogora is last fight. Who is his last fight? It's got to be this guy. Yeah, this is the one. Carlos Cogora was against Christopher Pearson in, when was that? April. Wow, I did he thought December last year. Okay, bit more active than some people. I'm not going to mention any names. Christopher Pearson. All right, cool. Not a whole lot of big names on here, but okay. Yeah. He's had the IBO World Super Middleweight title, but yeah, that's not. It's not really. Yeah, it's long. Congo. Yeah, Lerone. I like Leroy. He should win. He should win. If he doesn't, questions will be asked. Definitely questions will be asked. But this gentleman, I have a feeling this could be an upset. I think this could be an upset, because I need to see more of this Kongora guy. Something tells me this could be another Maurizio Lara situation. Something tells me, man. I don't want to say it, but something tells me. Anyway, my man Zelfa Barrett, big up Zelfa Barrett, yeah, a friend of Lyndon Arthur. I think he's his cousin. He is his cousin. Yeah, I think it's his cousin. A good friend of Lyndon, good friend of Bugsy, and then man. I'm not mentioning that ferret, but let's move on from my man. But yeah, a good. You know what? I like Zelfa, man. Zelfa's a calm guy. I think he's a calm guy. But in terms of in the ring presence, yeah, I think he lost to. Oh, who did he lose? I think he lost to 2 fights ago. Not this last fight, but the one beforehand in their fight camp. I think it was. Mate, who did Kid Galahad lose to? What's his name? Mate, I forgot his name. Oh, the Spanish guy, bald head. Yo, Arnie, I'm going to bug. What is his name? Do you know what? Forget it. Box wreck it. Yeah. If you can't remember it, box wreck it. Yeah. I like that. It rolls off the tongue. The Brown Flash. Not a fan of that nickname, but let's move. Kiko Martinez. That was it. Kiko Martinez. It could roll off the tongue. Yeah. So that fight he potentially would have lost. The next fight, I think he won. But was it 7th round KO? I think it was or the one before that was the 7th round KO, wasn't it? Where he was losing every round and he just won by KO. But Zelfa needs a good performance here. Because he needs to get himself back into the mix. Okay. So, and I think it's a total world title eliminator, so he needs to really step out the gas. Otherwise, he's going to be left behind. I'm expecting a good performance from Zelfa, at least a good performance, because I haven't seen a great performance from Zelfa in a while, man. So he needs to step it up, in my opinion. Jack Cullen versus Kevin Lee Sajdo, okay? Vacant European super middleweight title. Good fight for Jack. Good fight. For European title, good fight, man. Good fight. But personally, Jack Cullen needs to, again, like Zelfa, I need to see a good performance from Jack Cullen. But this should be an interesting fight. A very interesting fight. Lee Sajdo, decent opponent. Very decent opponent. So I'm looking forward for this fight. I think this could be fight of the card. Okay? But we'll see. And then we already spoke about the big one, Joseph Parker versus Dereck Chisora. Okay? But overall, who do I think is going to win? Joseph Parker, Chisora. Like I said, 10th round KO by Joseph Parker. I just can't see Chisora knocking my man out and dragging it, or even dragging it to the 12 rounds. Okay? But nevertheless, thank you very much for watching this video. Okay, subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be going live shortly after the fight to talk about the fight, of course. My head's gone. Yeah, but we'll go live straight afterwards, talk about it. Hopefully Steve Gray is a reffing. Because if Steve Gray is reffing, we have a dilemma. Okay, I spoke about Steve Gray the other day, but that's still it's one of the most biggest injustices since for quite some period of time. But overall, like the video, guys, subscribe to the channel. Peace, love, prosperity, guys, and I'm gonna see you guys in a bit. Peace.